Ganondorf is well known as the bad guy in the Legend of Zelda series, and last week we got confirmation that the corpse underground is indeed the King of Thieves. However, could Nintendo be setting us up for one of the biggest plot twists we've seen in the Legend of Zelda series so far? And perhaps Ganondorf isn't the one that we got to be worried about, and perhaps it's the Zonai we should be looking at as the great evil in the game. Well, today I want to dive into the theory that Ganondorf is being used as a battery to fulfill the Zonai's thirst for power in the upcoming Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Ever since Link and Zelda found that corpse underground, rumours have been swirling of its true identity, and recently during that final pre-release trailer for Tears of the Kingdom, the identity of the corpse was confirmed to be Ganondorf himself. It's tradition in the Legend of Zelda games that Ganondorf is the villain. He normally kidnaps Princess Zelda and we spend our adventure as Link, powering ourselves up to take on the mighty Ganondorf at the end of the game to save the day, including Princess Zelda and Hyrule itself. But Tears of the Kingdom may be different. What if Ganondorf isn't the main evil we need to be worrying about? What if it's the Zonai tribe instead? The Zonai are known for their worship of power and strength, as we can see depicted in their dragon-shaped ruins. Well, the corpse under Hyrule Castle is being held in place by what looks to be a Zonai hand. What if the Zonai trapped Ganondorf underground with the hand, and they're using him as a battery to generate power? The Zonai are known as powerful magic users, and could be using Ganondorf as some kind of battery to ascend the Sky Islands and keep them in a position of power over Hyrule. Well, that final pre-release trailer was a blockbuster for so many reasons, but Nintendo may be attempting to hide this plot twist in plain sight with the way that trailer is cut together. So the Zonai have a thirst for power, and any power-hungry people need to have a close eye on them, especially if they are well known for their magical abilities. Well, in an earlier trailer we hear Princess Zelda proclaim, "Lend him your strength," and this could be Princess Zelda speaking to Ganondorf, asking him to lend Link his strength so they can team up against the emerging Zonai threat. So if this is the case, this would be one of the biggest plot twists in the series' history. So while this theory does seem pretty wild, we don't really know much about the Zonai and their history, and the fact that the Ganondorf corpse is trapped underground by the Zonai arm leads me to think that something else is going on here. So before that corpse breaks free, his body appears to be pumping out malice, and this malice is keeping Hyrule in a state of disrepair. Well, let's have a look at the few details that we do know about the Zonai. So they're described as savage, a warlike tribe from the Faron region. They're strong magic wielders who are thought to have worshipped a water dragon, and their stone structures represent the Triforce. So dragons for courage, owls for wisdom, and boars for power. They're thought to have inspired the barbarian armor set in Breath of the Wild, and the description for the helmet reads as follows. So a helmet once worn by the warriors of an ancient warlike tribe from the Faron region. Wearing it draws out your inner animal and increases your strength and battle prowess. Well, that's all very well and good for armor, wearing it draws out your inner animal. That sentence is a little bit worrying. We're looking again at the first trailer and the location of the corpse. This place clearly has Zonai fingerprints all over it. So you've got Zonai monuments down there, and on the wall you can see animal carvings and a depiction of Ganondorf riding on what looks to be a horse. Or maybe this wall painting means perhaps at one stage the Zonai worshipped Ganondorf for his power, but there was a moment in time where the Zonai turned on him, realised they could take his great power for themselves if they trapped this male Gerudo underground and oppressed Hyrule at the same time to elevate their own people. While Ganondorf wasn't in Breath of the Wild, we did have Calamity Ganon and the Blight Ganons. Urbosa, the champion of the Gerudo 100 years ago, also alludes to Ganondorf in her diary. So it reads, "Emissaries from Hyrule came to see me today. They informed me that I'd been chosen to pilot the Divine Beast. My people are uneasy about it. They tell me that such a dangerous task is not fitting for a chief. I understand their fear. However, I intend to accept this task. Calamity Ganon's resurrection does not only threaten Hyrule, but the whole world, and I refuse to sit idly by. Ganon is also closely associated with the Gerudo, an association I deeply resent. I believe Zelda will be here soon to receive my official answer. I'm excited to see her, as always. And that is from Urbosa's diary. Well, now that we know Ganondorf is in Tears of the Kingdom, perhaps Ganondorf isn't in the present time with Link and the descendants of champions. Perhaps the Ganondorf we see is in the past with the Zonai and Princess Zelda. So knowing of Princess Zelda's power, the Zonai could have transported Princess Zelda back to their time after she falls down that hole to help them in their quest to trap Ganondorf underground, creating their battery which is their source of magic to elevate their people above Hyrule and keep them out of sight and oppress the people of Hyrule with this Ganondorf Malice battery. You know, this all begs the question, why would the Zonai do this? You know, what if the Hylians oppressed the Zonai tribe to the point where they broke and they wanted to exact revenge on Hyrule and all the people that live there? A male-born Gerudo only happens every 100 years, and Ganondorf was born and rose to power, and maybe the Zonai tribe saw their opportunity to exact revenge on Hyrule by imprisoning Ganondorf underground, trapped in the clutches of this Zonai arm. So this serves two purposes. First, they use Ganondorf's body as the battery to power their magic, which kept the Sky Islands hidden above Hyrule for centuries. And then second, at the same time, Ganondorf's body produces copious amounts of malice that kept Hyrule in a cycle of oppression through that malice production, causing calamities every few centuries, keeping Hyrule in their place on the ground below and elevating the Zonai above them, maintaining their tight grip on power for all time. Well, there is an interesting line from that official trailer number 2 where Ganondorf says, "Rise, rise my servants, sweep over Hyrule, eliminate this kingdom and our allies, leave no survivors." Well, if he's been kept in this state by the Zonai for centuries, then he's bound to be mad, and he'd want to exact revenge on those he thinks kept him in that state. Well, Nintendo haven't given us too many clues as to this story of Tears of the Kingdom, but we do know it's going to involve Link, Zelda and Ganondorf in the same game for the first time in 17 years. While it's likely Ganondorf will be the big bad once again, I'd like to think that we get something different this time. You know, Ganondorf has always been the big evil in the Legend of Zelda series, but much like Breath of the Wild delved into the backstory of Princess Zelda and her struggle to realise her power, perhaps Tears of the Kingdom is going to go into more detail about Ganondorf's backstory. So I'd like to find out more about the only male Gerudo, why he's evil, what his motivation is, and perhaps we're going to find out in Tears of the Kingdom. Well, let me know in the comments what you think about this theory, and also let me know what you think about the Zonai and their role in the upcoming Legend of Zelda adventure. Well, that is it for this look at a potential massive plot twist in the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and as always, thank you so much for watching or listening. For more Legend of Zelda content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to Triforce Times, or you can check me out on Twitter at Triforce Times. Well, if you enjoyed this video or found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, you can check out the other videos on the channel. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you soon.